Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the Majorette Camargue, or as Americans would pronounce it, Camargue. Worse for wear, neglected, in a sorry, sorry state. Let's see what we can do about it. Here's another angle, out of focus, accompanied by wind noise. In the background of this train, you'll see another train moving along here in just a second. That train is the Shinkansen that's traveling over 200 miles an hour. There it goes. This car I picked up at Osu Flea Market, which is a flea market that's held at a temple here in Nagoya. And this is the 18th and 28th of each month, and lots of interesting items, and occasionally a few forlorn cars. I decided to do a Majorette because no one else has done one that I've seen, so follow along as we try to resurrect that little gem. Let's go. Like everybody else, we start by drilling out the rivet. Here's something I've done to make life a little easier. Cut some pieces of rubber and just put magnet with some two-sided tape on the back. It allows you to just slip them in there when you need them, take them out quickly when you don't. Well, here's the bottom of it. It's a Majorette, made in France. Just a forewarning, these Majorettes got a pretty Majorette rivet. You had to really drill this bad boy. Let's get it apart here. We got kind of a tab in the back, it looks like. See how this comes apart. There we go. You're the wind beneath my wings. Alright, this is kind of unique. And kind of dirty. Glass just lays in there. Rear windshield. Rear window. Not sure how we're going to get that out yet. But I've got will. And where there's will, there's a way. We better look at this a little closer. Oh my. You wouldn't think it'd be quite so hard. It's pretty brittle. I think I'm going to stop and try this. Well, that was a lot harder than I thought. It was almost like a Rubik's Cube. Anyway, we got the glass out, and here's our pieces. We've got the body, we've got chassis, our main windshield, and our rear window, which has got a pretty good crack in it. So we're going to have to take care to not make that any worse. Kind of interesting with this body, the bumper and the side and the tail lights are part of the chassis, and they stick out and are visible through the side of the car. So kind of unusual design, but I like it. So we're going to try to decide what to do with that. I might paint that black along the edge to give it a look like a bumper, and we'll see what they were originally. Not a big, huge stickler for originality. I try to be as close as possible, but take some liberties once in a while. Kind of a funky suspension system in here. These wheels are held in place by this wire. Let's get that wing out of there. And looks like we just pop them off this way, and then the wheels will just come right out. This is my little system for stripping. Instead of brushing it on and dealing with that mess every time, just keep a jar of nail polish remover. It's not real toxic. but it does a fine job. Make sure there's no plastic left on here. We'll just drop it in there, and same with the body. We'll just drop her right in and give her a little shake, and let the steam line jams and marmalades have a new look. They're going to have a new look when they come out. We'll let that sit for a while. Okay, we're going to freshen up this little retainer with just a little bit of sandpaper. Pretty thin, so I don't know how much I want to take off, but try to get it a little shiny if we can. Get the other side. Probably hit this with a little primer just to stop that rust, hopefully, when I'm done. There we go, that's a better method. Well, I really enjoy watching these videos. I started out, mainly personally, I enjoy restoring cars and motorcycles. That's my main interest. But I got watching videos on restoring, somebody's restoring a lamp or something, and then just one of the videos popped up, and somebody restoring Matchbox cars. And I've always enjoyed Matchboxes, collect them. Have a bunch from all my ones I've had from my childhood. So, wasted a lot of, not didn't waste it, enjoyed watching a lot of those videos, and I thought, I'm going to restore one of those myself. So I've done a few, as you can see over here. I've done quite a few others actually, but here's a couple future projects. Not just Matchbox, but this is a king-size Matchbox. It was awful rough when I got it. No rear window, so I just made a piece of plexi for it. I think it's supposed to have louvers, if I remember right. Give those another shake. This one I just kept the door paint and painted the white portion only on it. Hit the tail lights. What do we have here? A Corgi. This, I have an old 356 in America, and this one I'm thinking I may not touch. I like the patina and originality of it. But here we've seen Marty do these, the same one. I've seen a few different ones online. Garbage truck. Well, here we are in the kitchen. I don't know how many of you have picked up on it yet, but I'm a big fan of the jar. So I just got some soapy water here. Oh, look at this thing. I mean, that is seriously cruddy. I'm going to throw that in there. Here's our wheels. And I'm starting to pick up on how far away we should be from the camera. Not too bad. We'll throw those in there. We'll do the Marty wash probably. Here's our crack we're talking about. It's actually broken. You know, we're going to have to be real careful with that. Throw it in there. Here's our interior. Kind of a funky little cockpit. Got this little unit here for some reason. Not much detail on that steering wheel. Looks like a pizza pan. Well, into the soapy bubble bath. And we'll give that a little shake and just let it sit for a while while we do something else. Okay, we're back on the roof. Here we are, Nagoya, Japan. We've got a train coming. We'll show you that real quick. And I'm going to do a quick paint on my suspension. Area here. Alright, let's get this in. I'm gonna hit with some black paint. I got some old black that I've had laying around, so stuck it in there. Oh. said, it's been laying around. It's not real exciting, but keep that rust from coming around. Now, let's just see if we can bring this right over and get you dialed in here. Ooh, look at that. Let's pull this out, see what it looks like. The old toothbrush out. I'm not going to do a toothbrush joke as much as I want to. There's been a lot of those toothbrush jokes out there. Alright, as you can see, the nail polish remover does a pretty good job. And it really is fairly non-toxic. I mean, it's a... clearly it is toxic because it's peeling this paint right off. But a little less so than the aircraft strippers or some of those other ones. I mean, it's designed for young ladies to take off fingernail polish. So it can't be too bad. Alright, we're almost there. And as everybody knows that does them, there's some things that just don't want to come off. You got to get in there and pick at them a little bit. So, we'll do some of that. Try not to send this stuff down the drain. Just pull as much of it out as I can anyway. Give her a rinse. Alright, I think we're going to set them back in for a couple minutes. Let's get that interior out, see what it looks like. Get it on spin cycle. Still pretty cruddy. But it'll clean up. There's our glass. Somebody got a little carried away with the marker. Old Japanese kid probably. I bought this at a flea market. That same one that you saw earlier. My neighbors are wondering who I'm talking to probably. I'm up here on the roof. This is that fragile rear glass. We got to take a little care here. We're gonna have to work on this a little bit. The brush isn't working, but the fingernail is. So we'll do that separately. And get those wheels out. You're hearing trains, a lot of trains go by. It's also really convenient. If you want to go somewhere and not drive, which happens from time to time. So I'm going to have a couple of drinks maybe. There's that jar again. He loves his jars. Let's put them back in the jar for now. The guy really loves his jars. Alright, let's get after this with a little brake fluid. Keep just a little bit of brake fluid in this little container here. I don't have to run down to the garage quite so often. Wow, this is some stubborn business. What is this? I think it's been tattooed on here. My God. The brake fluid's not even working. Let's try a little bit more, shall we? Let's get serious. I've made mistakes in the past by using thinner on a tail light for a Honda Cub I was restoring, and the thinner just melted the tail light right before my eyes. It was like Indiana Jones, that scene in Indiana Jones just started to come apart. I was just crying. Okay, I think this is going to work with a lot more elbow grease than what I was hoping. I'm going to try a different approach. Okay, we're busting out the big guns. And by big guns, I mean tiny Dremel and some chrome polish. Come on, baby. Give it to me. Give it to me. Is that too graphic? It's my first video. We got a little wiper blade in there. See if we can buff my dull section back to life. Alright, it's working a little bit. We got some scratches in the plastic, and I think that's making it a little harder to get it out. Alright, I'm going to give you a time lapse on this. We'll come back when we're done. I think this is our answer. Effort. Well, I hate to admit this, but I've resorted to the scrape. It's just not coming off any other way. So we're just taking the top layer of plastic right off. My God, the brutality. Hopefully our floor polish will bring back some fatality after the brutality. But I don't know what this paint is made of, but it is like attached itself to the plastic, even dug into it, melted into it a little bit, I'm afraid. Who knows, some lacquer or something. Some kid was playing with some toxic lead paint. Looks like he had too much lead paint exposure. That's the only reason you'd paint these headlights green. Alright, we'll finish this up and come back, show you the end result. Okay, I'm back. None the wiser, but considerably older. Took an awful lot of time. Okay, time for the dip. I'm going to use the cup method to cover them when I'm done dipping. Something I learned from Marty. Guy's got a head on his shoulders, I'll tell you that. I'm serious. You seen that thing? That's quite the head. There they are. Okay, let's get this in here for the old dipperino. You ready? Oh. Guess where he keeps his floor polish? In a jar. He likes jars. He being me. Let's get that off there. And a lot of buildup at the back side there. How far does it show on the Camargue? I think that'll be hidden. Because of that, I'm going to set it up this way, I think. Maybe I'm not. Alright, that'll do. Let's get this back. I'm not going to bother gluing this back hatch. I'm hoping that the floor polish will be enough to hold it together. I see I missed a spot there. Hold on a second. Alright, a lot of time spent here. I mean a lot. Could have went to France and bought a new car. The amount of time I spent. Oh, shake it. Don't break it. Shake it. Oh. Alright. Nothing we can do about that crack. That's what the plumber said too. Sorry, ma'am. There's nothing I can do about the crack. But your pipes are fixed. Okay, let's let that dry. It's time to get some painting done. Okay, we're gonna throw a little red in these taillights here. And then when that's dry, I'm gonna do the rest of it in silver, I think. I'm not too worried about details right at the moment, because we're going to paint the rest of it later. Here's a little technique I use when there's something fine like this and I get a little paint buildup or something. Just a toothpick in there kind of cleans out any residue that you don't want clogging those up. I'd say that's going to work, and then we'll do some silver over the top of that when we're all done. And I've decided I'm going to go black on the sides, I'm going to do black on the bottom here. Let's let that dry. Okay, time for a little primer. Mr. Surfacer 1000. Trains again. I could sit like that. This is a little bit rusty and it just stays like that, so we'll use it. Laid it on a little thick. We're going to try to clean up that casting issue just a little bit with the primer. That'll do. There we go. That'll do. It's pretty windy. A little windier than I'd like it. But anyway, we mixed up some yellow. And time to spray that chassis. Here we go. much paint out of here. It's windy, kids. Really windy. I'm going to fast forward through this section because I'm not really in the camera very often and it's so windy. So you get the idea. We painted the chassis. About this. Don't usually videotape. I forgot. I clear coated, did a few things. Alright, now it's time for the body. And let's get some paint on that. I mixed up some red. Well, same here. I'm going to fast forward through this because as you can see, I'm not really doing a good job of capturing the paint job. But I'm new to this. I'll get better. Stick with me. Turn that just a little bit. God, it's windy. Okay, mixed up a little tire wash. I've been jumping around, people. Sorry I skipped a few steps with you. But anyway, whipped up a little bit of this. I like using these little clips because you can hold the tire really easy and spin it around. Without much issue. Alright, and then I just stick it right on this lighter. It doesn't go anywhere. You get the idea. I'll do the next one. Well, people, things are starting to come together. It's time to lay a little silver on our rims. We're gonna, ooh, a little bit too much of that. Let's see how this goes. It's my first video, so we've forgot to turn the camera on a few occasions. So I hope you're not too disappointed that you're missing a few steps. But let's throw a little chrome down here. This rim was a little bent, so I tried to straighten it out the best I could. You can still see it's got a little waz there, a little curb rash. Somebody got a little aggressive. Ooh. Pulled in a little too hot. Alright, I think that's going to help out the overall look. I'll finish the other one up and then it's time to put it all back together. Oh yeah. I wish you could smell it, but I got ribs in the crock pot downstairs and oh boy. We're going to be eating good tonight. Celebration dinner. Ooh. Okay, things are coming together, people. Real quick, this little cub I built for my girlfriend last year, a couple years ago now. She really enjoys it. Alright, there's the old 911. I just got done throwing some suspension in that. That was a little harder than this Matchbox, but not as much fun. Alright, here we go. There everything is. I forgot my suspension piece upstairs. I had to go run and get that. Let's get this tripod set up, put this back together. Okay, things could probably stand to be a little bit drier, but we're going to risk it. Let's drop the wheels in, see if we can remember how this goes. Seem to be the same width. We'll drop the wheels in. Got something, a little paint chip. Okay, do you guys remember? Does it go this way? Inside or outside, I wonder. Let's just try it here first. Well, is it that easy? I don't think so. Maybe it is. Well, that was simple. Yeah, I guess that's it. Okay, we got that. Now, let's put the interior in. This we've got a little divot to go into. There we go. The black looks pretty good. Oh, shoot, I wish I would have known that. I probably would have painted that black had I thought about it. Here we are, though. Now, let's put that down. Here's what I'm worried about. This is not super dry, but I've never been known for my patience. Glass turned out pretty good, actually, after all that effort. Let's drop that in. Oh, let's work on that rear glass first. This was kind of a pain, if I remember right. And I do. It's not going to go that way. Well, it's a lot easier going in. Okay, we got that. Drop that in. Flip her around. We got a little tab that goes in. Kind of holds everything together. And voila. We've got ourselves a car. I painted these black behind there, and I thought about maybe painting them silver. And now would be the time to change it if I want to, but I think I'm just going to leave it black. Gives it kind of a tinted look. I think that's it. Wow. Oh, that wasn't quite dry, it looks like. We might need to touch that up. Oh, there's our taillights. Turned out pretty good. Alright. Okay, this is probably overkill, but there's this silver seal. I can't really replicate this rivet, but I'm going to try my best. It's this little metallic putty. And if you remember right, that rivet was really unusual and deep. So, we're going to try this. I'm going to take a little ball of it, I think, and set it in there. And then lick this punch. Alright, well, clearly we've got a little too much. Let's pull that back out. We're going to have it. Ball it back up. Drop her in the hole. That's about right. Lick that greasy punch again. And see if we can get it to look like that original rivet.
I think that's going to do. We'll let that dry and touch it up a little yellow.
Well, we've reached the end of our journey. That's what we started with, as you remember. Forlorn little Citroen. And here it is now. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. The Citroen Camargue by Majorette. Sorry about the length of the video, and sorry about the close-ups of my hands on quite a few occasions, and also the wind noise. But it's my first video. Hopefully we'll get better. If you'd like to see me do another one, leave me a comment and let me know, and I'll tackle another project. Thank you very much. Take care.